So I'm a child of the 70s. When I was growing up, obviously computers weren't as prevalent as they are today. However, my dad was a computer science major and he worked in IT. In the mid 80s, his employer at the time gave him a computer for home use. I vividly remember playing computer games on this archaic system that only supported two colors. Storage component were these floppy drives that looked like frisbees. I knew back then that that's what I wanted to do for my career, something with computers. There was one called the Winter Games or something that was basically the Olympics, And I also remember programming some trying to create simple computer viruses. And I remember my parents were nervous because I was spending so much time on the computer trying to put a password on it, and I remember guessing the password. When I got my first job out of college, I wrote this script. What it would do is it would just randomly pop the CD tray out for people's computers. They'd be like, oh, that's weird. Push it back in, 20 seconds later, same thing happened. It was just kind of a fun way to pick at people. I am an IT professional, but my main skill set is within IT security. Prior to our Lumos implementation, everything related to access requests were completely manual. We had basically a full-time help desk person. That was their job. 67% of our tickets were access requests. So since we implemented Lumos, not only is that person freed up to do other things, the time to fulfillment, right, is so much shorter because everything now is streamlined in a tool. We're constantly reviewing our IT spend, kind of right-sizing our license agreements. We just sit down with the stakeholders and we kind of do a gap analysis. If we're going to go with this other product, what do we lose and how much is the cost of the business? And times are tough right now, let's be honest. I mean, with IT spend specifically. Every day in my inbox, there's probably somewhere in between 5 and 10 emails from salespeople and marketing teams. What means a lot more to me, peer reviews. We do benchmarking sessions with other IAM professionals, and we talk about what's working for you, what's not working for you. As an IAM team, one of the things that we really focus on is reducing friction, and specifically in the authentication process. I just get so much satisfaction out of troubleshooting and solving a problem, very challenging problem, and then getting the feedback from the end user. I mentioned earlier that sometimes it would take weeks for people to get access to our systems. Now it's literally minutes. The way I describe it to my kids is Dad tries to keep the bad guys out of our computer systems. And so they're like, wow, that's really cool. And they ask me, Dad, do you know how to hack? And I'm like, yeah, I do, but but I'm like, that's not what I do. I try to prevent hackers from getting into our systems.